Welcome back into extended pregame coverage here on Cougar Sports Saturday for BYU versus UCF. Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland. And Kyle, you had the chance to catch up with one of BYU's most accomplished seniors in this 18-man senior class today.
Yeah, I did. Earlier this week, I had a chance to talk with Will Ferrin, a senior who he ended up kicking 3 field goals against UCF a season ago and expects to have a big game as he wraps up his BYU career at LaVell Edwards Stadium today. I talked with Will Ferrin about his ups and downs this season, how he's recovered from that rough stretch in the middle of the year, and this is my conversation with BYU senior kicker.
Yeah, I've always been really big on the idea of just one kick at a time, being 1 for 1 every time, and sometimes that's easier said than done. Sometimes it's harder to get past kicks, whether it's a make or a miss. And I think this year it was just that I got to test that a little bit more, and whether it's a big kick and a big make, sometimes you want to dwell on that. If it's a big miss, you want to dwell on it, and being able either way, make or miss, to just get past. Once the ball's off my foot, it's gone, and then get on to the next. And I think this year that's been a huge thing for me to learn from reps, but not hold on to reps, whether good or bad.
What does it mean to you to have Kalani and K-Pop have the confidence and trust in you? Because, it seemed like every time during that, I think it was a 3-game stretch where you'd missed a kick, it was, questions were asked, hey, what's the confidence level in Will? And it was never wavering between those guys. It was always like, we trust Will, we trust his leg. How much does that instill confidence in you that they're confident?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's part of the culture that we have here, where one mistake and the world's not upside down, but we just continue to work and continue to progress, and mistakes happen and you get on from them and able to come into practice and show it, and I think, I don't know, I never had any doubt in myself, and I don't think that the others did, and I think that speaks to the culture that Kalani's set and that.
And then a few weeks ago at Texas Tech, Sam had a couple of shank punts there, and it just seems like the special teams hasn't been completely 100% the whole season, but at times like you guys have had it all together, and it seems like really coming down the home stretch now, everything's been clicking. Sam back from what he was dealing with there at Texas Tech. Can you talk about just the room that you're in, and the belief in Sam to be able to have him bounce back from that performance and being able to finish things out last week and then also this regular season finale?
Yeah, it's a mature group, which is nice. Like, I think a lot of people view special teams as it's kind of a streaky, like, we're doing good, we're doing bad, we're doing good, and none of us look at it that way. Like, it's easy to fall into that, but with all of us, it really is, we're locked in on the moment and what we're doing at the time. So even, like, I can't say I even really remember exactly the stats or exactly what games, what happened, just because once it's gone, it doesn't matter. And with Sam, it was the same thing. Like, in that game, there's a ball that comes off the side of the foot, and I don't think he sees as much as like overcoming that as much as just flushing it and getting on to the next rep. And we've spent so much time in the off season and through the years now building up our preparation and building up a process that we can fall back on in big moments. And that's no secret. That's just the formula for success. And so when a punt goes off the side of the foot or when something happens, we have that to fall back on. Experience helps with that. Maturity helps with that. But as a group, we definitely have a culture of preparation. Preparation brings confidence, and we fall back on that as much as we can.
You've mentioned culture multiple times already in this conversation, and it seems like that's been a big focal point. I think maybe more so this year than ever before from what I've heard, at least with Kalani and, love and learn and humble and hungry and, just a lot of those kinds of sayings. You guys are sitting at 10-1. Everything's in front of you. You win this game against UCF. You're in the Big 12 championship game. After last season, the way things ended, I mean, you're a leader on this team. What does that mean to you that you guys were, able to learn from some of the things that you experienced a season ago, bounce back from that Texas Tech loss, and then, you have everything kind of in front of you at this point? Yeah,
it's big. I think the thing that we've learned is that the job's not done yet. I think last year it was start feeling good about yourself and you stack wins and get caught up on that. And this year we've learned that we just got to take every game and treat it like a one-game season. We've used that phrase has been thrown around like crazy this year, where like UCF is all we're looking at right now, and even more than that, what we're looking at is our Tuesday practice, and then learning from our Tuesday practice and getting into our Wednesday practice, and really treating this game like it's our Super Bowl every single week, and that's something that as a team we've gotten really good at.
What does it mean for you to be back at home this week? It seemed like you guys were on the road forever after that Utah game, and you had that game back home a couple of weeks ago, but you're back at home to close out the regular season. What's it going to be like for you one last time this regular season to kick at LaVell Stadium?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I grew up going to games at LaVell, so it'll be cool. I'm excited. It feels just like every other game, and I'm sure it will, even when we're going, but once the game ends, then it'll be emotional, and I mean, I think that's a good thing, and it shows how much that place means to me and to all the other seniors, so I'm excited.
Last question for you, Will. Against Cincinnati, you ended up becoming the number 2 field goal kicker as far as makes in BYU program history. You're just behind Owen Pochman now. Do you have a chance to look at that after the Cincinnati game and kind of reflect on it, or is that something you're going to do after the season's over? Like, you're one of the greatest field goal kickers in BYU history. Do you have a chance just in the season to reflect on what that means?
Yes and no. I don't know how much reflecting there is to be done necessarily. I've gotten good at just like having the small point of view, and when you kick the ball straight and you just do that one at a time, then good things happen. So I guess no. I haven't really thought too much about it, but yeah, it's all cool, and I'm just fortunate to be in the role that I'm in.
That was my conversation with BYU kicker Will Ferrin. We're going to take a quick timeout, and on the other side, we'll catch up with another star BYU player. You're listening to Extended Pregame for BYU UCF live on KSL News Radio.